We begin with the part 1, the MCQ part of the EoT for grade 11 advance. Please note that in this part I will just do the shortcuts and direct methods. For the detailed methods, please go to the playlist and the entire lesson explanations are available. The first question is to use trigonometric identities to simplify expressions. Here we have various trigonometric Here we can see various trigonometric expressions. And how do we get the correct answer? The easiest way is from the calculator. Now I have typed the first equation over here. It's just 1 minus sine. See, whenever it is sine square, you have to write sine alpha x and square it outside. If this theta was squared, then you have to square it inside the bracket. This is the square to the theta. But here, if you put it outside, this is equivalent to this. You can also use the brackets if you want. The brackets would be from the sine function till over here. The entire thing is squared. It's one and the same with or without brackets, but square it outside the x bracket. Now here what you need to do is put some random x value. Shift mode 4. This is in radian mode now. Please convert it to radian mode. Press calc and now you can put 1.5. I'll just put 1.5 and see what's the answer. Now here the answer is 5.02 and it's a very small number. That doesn't matter. You should just write it down somewhere and then you will have 4 options, isn't it? Please remember the calculated value. I used 1.5. I need to use 1.5 over here and I have to get the same answer. So it'll be 1. Now I have to press on. Cot is by 1 by tan alpha x squared. And now calculate at 1.5 itself. You can just press equal to. We are getting the same answer. Only one particular option will give you the same answer. All the others has to give you different, because if there are same, that means you have 2 correct answers. You will have all the other options giving you different value other than this value. So we can try it for any other thing. You can over here also. Let me do this one because it's having cosecant and cotangent. So let's type it out. 2, open the bracket. Cosecant is given by 1 by sine. So here alpha x, close the bracket and square it up. Now this is practically cosecant itself, 1 by sine, minus 1 divided by cotangent alpha x. Sorry, my bad. Cotangent reciprocal is 1 by tan. So I write tan alpha x, close the bracket and square it up and now close the entire bracket. Now let's choose x value. I'll just choose 1.5. Sometimes if you get error, make sure you choose another value, okay? Sometimes if it's undefined, if sine over here you have taken 0 is 0, right? Then 1 by 0 is undefined. So avoid 0. Take values like 1.5 or something. I generally take 1.5, 2.5 like that. The answer is 2, direct. This is it. Now even over here, if you put any x value, you'll directly get 1 because it'll approximate it to 1 directly. So that's the answer. But whereas imagine you had this as the answer. Then you need to put 1 by cos and put the calculate at the same value and then verify both must be same. So this is how you can do it. Now what about these? I'll do the last one as well. See here you can just do 2 minus 2 sine alpha x, close the bracket, squared, and I'll calculate it at 1.5. It's this 0.01000. Now here we have cos square, 2 cos square theta. So let's put 2 cos alpha x, close the bracket, squared. That's the thing. And now calculated the same value. I just press directly equal to. That's matching. So only one answer will match, all the others will not. So this is your correct answer. That's how easily you can solve this particular topic. That's how easily you can solve this topic. If you have any doubts, post them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you very soon. The second question is to find values of sine and cosine by using sum and difference identities. But since it's in the MCQ, you can use any method and get the answers. Let's read this real life situation. A geologist measures the angle between one side of the rectangular lot and the line from a position to the opposite corner of the lot as 30 degrees. See, one side of the rectangular plot. So we can consider this as one side. Her position G, geologist, is over here. And this is the corner, opposite corner. This angle is given as 30. It's mentioned here. And then she measures the angle between that line, just now which we got, that line, and the line to the point on the property where a river crosses as 45 degrees. So from this line to another line which the property crosses the river, this one has 45 degrees. Okay. Now first let's find what is this angle from two knowns. It'll be 90 because it's a rectangular plot. All the corners are 90 degrees, isn't it? So we have 90 minus 45 minus 30. It will be 45 minus 30. That's 15 degrees. So this angle over here is 15 degrees. Okay. Now what next? She stands 100 meters from the opposite corner of the property. That means this to this length is 100 meters. How far is she from the point at which the river crosses the property line? Okay. They are asking us to find this distance from there. See, this one. I'll call it G2A. Okay. GA distance is required. So what do we need over here? We know this angle is 15. We need this hypotenuse. So unknown value, x is already mentioned. I'll put y over here. Now, can we find this length? We can find x because I know this angle is 30. I know the hypotenuse is 100. Which connects this hypotenuse and this angle? It's sine theta and the opposite side, sorry. Sine theta is opposite by hypotenuse, isn't it? So I will put sine theta is 30 degrees is equal to opposite is x by 100. And now solve for x, that is take this to the other side, be 100 sine 30 degrees equals x. That's the thing. Now once you solve x over here, you can easily find y because this is known, it's 15 degrees. What is the angle which is the trigonometric function which connects the adjacent and hypotenuse? It's cos theta, that is adjacent by hypotenuse over here. And here we have adjacent side to be x by hypotenuse is considered y. Cos theta is 15 degrees, right? Now x value we have found it out over here. So take this y to the other side. It will be x divided by cos 15 degrees. Now we will type it out in the calculator. Now please remember this degrees is in degrees. It's not in radians. So please keep it in degrees itself. Don't shift to radians or anything. The answer for x is 50. Now 50, the answer divided by cosine of 15 degrees will give you the answer. That is 51.76. Let's just check the answer. Here the figure is drawn again. And as you can see here, yes, we got the same answer as well. It's 51 point, approximated to 8. That's the correct answer. So this is how easily you can solve it. And here we have the same figure drawn. That's it. Please try to understand the relationship between the trigonometric functions, how it connects all the hypotenuse, adjacent and opposite sides, and then it will be very easy. The question number 3 is to find the exact values of sine and cosine. This is one of the easiest topics in the MCQ part. All you need is a calculator. When it is degrees, you can just type it out as sine 165. That's it. That is the answer. Now, what if it is in pi, radians? You can shift the mode and change it. But what I would personally suggest is just type it cos 7 by 12. Wherever pi is there, it's after 7, right? Just multiply it by 180 because pi in terms of degrees is 180. That is the answer. You can see. That's the answer. Now here they have written root 2 first minus root 6 by 4. That's fine. If at all you get your values in decimal points, it's fine. Write it somewhere and then solve all the 4 options and match it with this answer. And that will be your correct answer. Because there is 4 options, it's the easiest of all. Please do it by yourselves. Now what if it is the reciprocal identities? It's very easy as well. If it's tan, just type it out as it is. Now here we have 23 into 180 divided by 12. That's the answer. But what if it is, see, the reciprocal identity of cosecant, cotan, or secant? All you need to do is write the reciprocal formula. Cosecant is 1 divided by sine. And now put this angle. That is phi into 180 by 12. Please remember, instead of pi, I'm putting 180. So I don't have to shift mode and change the radian or anything. It's very simple and straightforward. Instead of pi, just put 180, and instead of cosecant, I put 1 by sine. The answer is root 6 minus root 2. Now, if it's cotangent, that's cot, it's 1 by tan. 1 divided by tan, and you have over here 113 times pi, that is 180, divided by 12, and close the bracket. Here you go, that's the answer. For secant, it is 1 divided by cos, that is cosine, and put the angle as it is in degrees, and that is the answer. Now here it was written root 2 first, minus root 6. The easiest of all, just by calculator. The question 4 is about double angle and half angle identities. This is an interesting question because you can't solve the double angle easily in calculator, the sine 2 theta, cos 2 theta. But the half angle, you can try with the calculator. You tend to get the wrong answers as well because here it involves the square root and stuff. So we need to use the formula. I will solve this problem because I will just go with the shortcuts. Here, I will show you the sine 2 theta and cos 2 theta by calculator in a minute, but I will first do the solving of sine theta by 2 and cos theta by 2. Here, this plays an important rule, the theta thing. If it is 2 theta, then what happens? You multiply both the sides by 2. Here then we will have 0, 2 times 0 is 0, less than or less than, sorry, 2 theta less than 180. So this is the condition of theta for these two double angles. But for half angle, it will just be divided by 2 throughout. So this will be 45 degrees. Here this is the conditions. How we solve is we require cosine. If over here cos theta was directly given, then you don't need to solve. You can directly use the half angle identity formulas and solve it up. But here first, step 1 would be using the Pythagoras theorem, that is 1 equals sine square theta plus cos square theta, and then solve it up. 1, substitute what we know. Sine is 1 by 4 the whole square plus cos square theta. Now here you can take this to the other side, it will be 1 minus, now square, both the sides will be 4 square is 16 equals cos square theta. This will be 16 by 16, it will be 15 by 16. So 15 by 16 equals cos square theta. You can take the square root on both the sides and you will get plus or minus root 15 by 4 equals cos theta. But since it's in the first quadrant, I don't need to bother about this. The sign is going to be plus here. Cos theta will be plus. Why? Because in the first quadrant, everything is positive. Now then, cos theta is found out. You can try solving sine theta by 2 and cos theta by 2. This, because I'll show you in calculator, we don't need to worry about these formulas. Or there are a set of formulas, you can substitute and solve it. Now, what about theta by 2 and theta by 2 over here? The formulas are sine theta by 2 equals, it's always plus or minus because square root is there. It's 1 cos theta divided by 2. I'll write even this formula, cos theta by 2. I will complete this in a while. Is equal to, again, square root, this is plus or minus 1 cos theta divided by 2. See, how I remember is if it's cos and cos, then it's positive. It's a good thing. But if it's cos and sine and cos, it's a minus. This is how I remember the formula. It always sticks in my mind like this. Now all you do is substitute the values. Sine theta by 2 will be root of 1 minus, what is cos theta? It is square root 15 divided by 4 divided by 2. Whereas cos theta by 2 will be square root of 1 plus root 15 divided by 4, the whole thing by 2. So we have sine theta by 2 equals, put it in the calculator, you will get the answer, and cos theta by 2 equals this thing. Sorry, not the square root. This is the answer. But now, what is the condition over here? What is the theta condition? For half angle, theta is 0, greater than 0, but less than 45 degrees. That's the first quadrant. So there is no problem at all in this. Now we will use our calculators and solve this up. Here, be careful when you substitute in the calculator. Put the square root symbol and then this symbol, fraction symbol, 1 minus, again put a fraction symbol, square root 15 divided by 4 divided by 2. Now press equal to, you're getting this answer. Okay, there's a problem now. I mean, it's not a problem or anything. Write the answer. Sine theta by 2 is 0.126 and 00. Over here, I will just change the sign and I will find it for cos theta by 2. It is 0.992. Now, these are the answers, 0.992. It's both positive itself because we got the condition in the first quadrant itself. Now, I'm 100% sure that your answers will be not like this. I mean, not 100%. Generally, your options answer won't be like this. They will be in terms of square root and all that. Let's quickly look into the answers. See, these are your answers. They are in terms of, see, huge, gigantic values. But how would you do that is, how would you check your correct options are is, use your calculator and solve this up. Now here I have written both these answers. Now let's put these in the calculator. Use the fraction symbol, square root 8 minus 2, again square root 15 divided by 4. The third value is sine 2 theta. What is the answer? Press equal to, it matches. It's the exact value which we got. Now we just change the plus sign to plus, and what do we get? It'll be 0.992, and that's the cos theta value, theta by 2. So this is how we can do it. Now, I think so sometimes the calculator method works even for this, but it's not for all problems. So that's why I'm showing you this method. Please remember this formula, only two formulas, and solve it up. Now, what about the first two? I told you there's a calculator method, right? It's better we clear the calculator every now and then. Now, first thing what you need to remember is don't use degree mode. These are trigonometric functions. Shift mode and use 4. This is now in radian mode. So I can directly substitute these values. These are all in radians, okay? This is given. Sine theta is 1/4. Let me find what is theta. So how do you find theta? Theta would be, take sine to the other side. It will be sine inverse of 1/4. So theta can be solved now in the calculator. Press shift and sine, you'll get sine inverse. 1/4 is 0.25, or I'll just write it as it is. And what's the answer? 0.25268. Yeah, I'll just write it 0.25268. Please write at least 4 to 5 digits after the decimal point. And now, here the best way would be, this is saved as the answer. Now, if I press answer, the theta value is saved. If I use this, I'll generally get the correct form. Now, this is theta, right? I will just put sine 2 into theta. That's the answer. What am I getting? Okay, I'm not getting it in the general form. Anyways, not in the exact form. So what I'm getting is 0.484. If I solve this, I must get that. Let me try it. Root 15 by divided by 8 is 0.481. So the same thing. Now what about 7 by 8? 7 by 8 is nearly 0.8587, I guess. Yeah, 875. Now we will do the same thing with cos. This is cos theta 2, the answer. Now what we will do is we will do cos 2 into theta value we just now found out, right? 25268. And okay, now we are not getting the exact value because we are not taken the entire values of theta, right? But it's almost correct. But if you had found out sine inverse 0.25, the theta value, the exact theta value, and now if I do cos 2 into answer, this is the exact theta value, I'm getting the exact value. Sometimes you'll get it like this, sometimes you'll get it as a decimal. Please compare the answers with the options. So for the first two, that is sine 2 theta and cos 2 theta, you can use the calculator easily, whereas for sine 2 theta and cos 2 theta, you cannot. Okay, let us try the second one as well. For the first two, what I would do is first find the sine inverse value. It is 4 divided by 5 The answer is 0.92729. It's better you write it down because we need many digits after decimal. 277295. And now what I will do is I'll just put it as sine 2 into answer. It's in radian mode, so I don't need to worry about it. I get 24 by 25. Now I'll tell you how to do the sign in a minute. This is the answer. Now write it down. We know it's 24 by 25. And what about the cos 2 theta? So just put cos 2 into 0.927295, and it is negative 0.2799, and it's negative 0.28. Okay, so let's try this. 7 by 25, it's minus, it's 0.28. Yeah, that's the answer. See, these are the correct answers. But here you should do the formula method. But now, how do I know which is positive, which is negative? Here we have been given the theta, right? So let's multiply both the sides by 2. So what do we get? 180 degrees theta less than 280 becomes 360 degrees. Now, is sine positive from 180 to 360? No, sine is positive only at what? 0 to 180 degrees. This is beyond the sine, so that's why it's negative. Now for cos theta, cos 2 theta, do you think we have to do the same thing? Is it from 180 to 360 degrees? No. Here, whatever the answer you get is the correct answer. In the calculator, the sign is not at all impacted by this. I will explain why, because this is a bit confusing, right? For sine 2 theta, we use this. If you know the formulas, sine 2 theta is given by 2 sine theta times cos theta. Whereas cos 2 theta formulas are either cos square minus 1, cos square plus. Every time there is square involved, whenever square is involved, even if it was negative angle, it becomes positive. It doesn't matter the sign over there. Whatever the answer you get in calculator is your answer. But for this, the issue is we have to take based on the quadrants, right? So here when we solve this up, we put the proper formulas, put the values, and then the sign matters based on the theta. Whereas for other one, it really doesn't matter because we take cos theta, cos square theta or sine square theta. So even if we take based on this negative or positive based on the quadrants, if you put say minus 1, it will be squared and it's going to be positive 1 only. Whereas these last two we have to do according to the formula which was shown, and then look for the angle. Over here what you need to do is divide both the sides by 2. So what is the theta you get? Theta by 2 will be this much. It's in the first quadrant, so both will be positive. This is pretty simple. Doesn't matter what, they'll give you in quadrant, and this when you divide by 2, it will be in single quadrant itself. So easily you can tell which is the sign. Now this one we need the sign because it's square root. It's either plus or minus. So we have to follow the quadrant. Only for cos theta, you have to just take whatever you get in the calculator. We got minus itself in the calculator, so that's the answer. For the sign, you might get minus, you might get plus, anything, but based on the theta over here, multiply both the sides by 2 and take the answer. I'll do this one as well over here. Now this is cos theta. This is the answer. Let's take our calculator. I've just typed cos inverse of negative 5 by 13. And here what is the answer? 1.9655. Let me write out the theta here. It's 1.965587. Now then, once we get theta, we can find sine 2 times the answer, that's theta is already saved. Sorry, this one. And here we get negative 120 by 169. Let's look at the answer. But here, even if it's positive, we need to double check. Now this is the same thing, but you have to double check. But let's look at the cos theta now, cos 2 theta. I will just put cos 2 times the theta value is 1.965587. Here we get negative 0.704. You can see the sign should match. Whatever is this sign, here only. If it was plus, you just put plus. This is equivalent to this. I will just show you 119 divided by 169 gives you the same answer as 0.704. We just know we also got 704.704. That's the thing. And these you have to use the formula and solve it up. Same formula, straightforward. Now, what about the angle over here, the theta? Limits of intervals of theta is pi and pi by 2. For sine 2 theta, you need to multiply both the sides by 2. So it will be pi, theta will be 2 pi. Now here it's always negative, it's not positive at all. Whereas for theta by 2, you just divide this by 2, it will be pi by 4. Then theta by 2, it's only less than, sorry, and it is pi by 2. Pi by 4 is 45 degrees, and over here we have 90 degrees. This is the both the sides, both the sine and cos will be positive because it's in the first quadrant. That is how we do it. Now here we have an entire explanation of a problem. You can just go through it for sine 2 theta, cos 2 theta, and half angle identities as well. Here, please go through this. The presentation is in the link in the description. You can just click on the link and download the presentation. So this is how we basically solve. See, you have to use the formula, and you can see over here there is plus or minus. And let me just go back to the double angle identity here. See, this quadrant is important here. Why? Because we are using sine theta, cos theta. That's why. Whereas for this one, you are squaring. The formula will be squared up. So you take it as positive or negative. Now over here, cos theta is positive in this quadrant. We take positive. But even if it was minus, you square it so the negative is gone. So you don't need it. Here, this is for half angle identity. You can easily do the same thing. Divide both the sides by 2. And over here, we can see theta by 2 is in the quadrant 2. So for sine, it is positive, whereas cos, it's negative. Because second quadrant, now when you divide this by 2, what's the angle? 3/4 pi, that is, and 2 pi. Okay, pi is 180. It's less than pi, so it is in the second quadrant, yes. But sine is positive in the second quadrant, whereas cos is negative. Cos is only positive in first and the fourth, right? So this answer, whatever answer, you just take positive, whereas the second answer over here, you just consider it to be negative. So that's the answer. Okay, these whatever, this one whatever you get in the calculator, and this one we need to look into the theta interval. So you can try them by yourselves. Okay, now we have a tan problem. So I will solve this one over here. We know what is tan theta, right? Tan theta is opposite by adjacent. We need to use this relationship. Now, if this is opposite by an adjacent, what is this over here? 8 by 15. Negative sign represents the quadrant. The quadrant is the second quadrant. Over here, second quadrant tan is negative. That's why it's minus. Now, opposite side is given. Adjacent side is given. What is the hypotenuse? Now imagine this is 90 degree, this is theta. Opposite side over here is 8, adjacent side over here is 15. What is the hypotenuse? You can easily find it by the square root of 15 square minus 8 square. So when you solve this up in the calculator, you get the answer for the hypotenuse. Here I've just typed it out, and the answer over here is root of 161. Now that's the hypotenuse, HYP. It's square root 161. Now we can easily find out what is cos, right? Cos theta is adjacent by square root of hypotenuse, that is square root of 161. The adjacent side was 15 divided by square root 161. Now when you're using cosine, please remember it's minus. Why? Because in the second quadrant cosine is negative, but sine is positive. Now from this cos theta, we find the half angle identities sine and cos. But what about sine 2 theta and cos 2 theta? Here what we will do is we'll just use the theta directly. See, tan inverse of minus 8 by 15 and find the theta. Theta is negative for this much. Just put cos 2 into the answer. That is the answer. Let's look over here. That's the answer. Same thing again, if you put the theta, I will do tan inverse negative 8 divided by 15. Its answer. Sine 2 times the answer because the theta value is saved. That is over here. But now please be sure to check the theta value. Okay, whether it's positive or negative. Since this is 90, it will be 180 degrees and this will be 360 degrees. Now again, this falls in the third and fourth quadrant. Is sign positive or negative in third and fourth quadrant? It's minus, so therefore we have minus, whereas over here we directly got it as plus. But what about the half angle? Let's just divide this by 2, divide this by 2, it will be 45 to 90. So both should be plus and plus. But this cos theta, why I did this? To find the half angle, because we had used the formula we initially did, right? Using the square root formula. That's why. That's how we can easily solve it up. Even over here, do the same thing. Please remember, tan is opposite by adjacent. Write it out, find the hypotenuse, and then solve it up. For the first two, if the question is only for double angle identity, do it in the calculator easily. Please do try these questions as well. They're pretty straightforward, just like what we have done, only the values are changing. All the solutions are available over here. After you solve it, check for the solutions. So that's the end of this topic. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. Just be careful with the theta value. The first two double angles can be done in calculator, whereas half angle needs to be solved by the formulas. Question number 5 is about inverses of 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 3 matrices. This is a straightforward and an easy problem in calculator. So let's take our calculators now. Here you need to follow the methods very closely. You should not do anything wrong because you will not get the answers. First, we need to press mode because there's nothing switched on. There's no matrix mode or anything. So press mode and press 6. That is the matrix. And now initially when you start, you can fill in one matrix. Now for inverse, there's only one matrix. So this is it. Press matrix A, that is option number 1, and look at the dimensions of this matrix. It's 2 cross 2, 2 rows, 2 columns, right? 2 cross 2 is option number 5, and type the matrix in. Negative 4, then press equal to. Once you do it, press equal to, and minus 6 equals to 3. Now once all are typed in, once you're pressed equal to, you should press AC or on. It's better to go with AC. Now all clear, you're back. Here you need to anymore, please don't go to mode and press 6. If you go again, then the matrices will be reset, So it's a big problem. Please don't go to mode and press 6 anymore. Already the matrix mode is on. Anymore, if you have to use any matrices, press shift and 4. See, can you see above 4 is matrix? Now this gives you the options. If you want to fill another matrix, you need to go to dimension and do the steps which you just now did. But now we already saved this matrix, right? Just press 3. That is the matrix A. Now I want to take the inverse. Inverse is by this symbol over here. X to the power minus 1 is x inverse. And equal to, it's a math error. If I'm getting a math error, this means this is a singular matrix. This cannot be taken as inverse because the determinant of this is 0. It's a singular. Now, if you want to double check the determinant is 0, what I can do is, I will just clear it out. You can press shift and 4. There is option number 7 for determinants, and then again shift and 4, press matrix A, close the bracket. Here the determinant is 0. If determinant is 0, the matrix is singular. Or if you get math error, that means it's singular. Even this is singular, you can try by yourself. Over here, I have done the written method. You can follow this as well. But the calculator method is more than enough. You just have to find the determinant. These opposite things are multiplied to each other and minus the other thing. So it's first left to right minus right to left. And then find the determinant. Your determinant is 0. That means this is a singular matrix. The determinant, it does not exist. Inverse does not exist. And if you want to solve otherwise, you need to consider these as A, B, C, D and find the determinant. Left to right, 2 times minus 2 and then minus 3 times minus 2. You get the answer over here as minus 10. If the determinant is anything other than 0, you will get an inverse. Now the formula for inverse is 1 by determinant and there is D. See, this one shifts over here. Instead of D, it becomes A place and A comes to D's place. Whereas B and C doesn't change, but you have to multiply by negative sign. So here, this shifts. See what happens? this minus 2 goes up and these two signs become minus, and then you just write 1 by determinant is minus 10, and over here initially we had minus 2d, it became a, and a became d, and here you multiply both by minus. This is the answer. You can multiply the negative 1 by 10 inside and you will get these answers. This is the determinant. You can check this. Now, since I'm going to type this anew as the first matrix, I can go to mode again, or I'll just clear the calculator. What I personally do is, whenever I finish matrices, I just clear the calculator, go to mode again, press 6. Now matrix 1, it's a 2 cross 2 matrix, option 5, 2 minus 3 minus 2, and lastly minus 2. That's it. Press AC, shift 4, matrix A is by 3, inverse, that's the answer. It's 1, this is the fraction symbol, 1 by 5, minus 3 by 10, negative 1 by 5, and negative 1 by 5. That's the answers. So that's how we do it. Even if it is a 3 cross 3 matrix, it's same method. Please do this by yourselves, and I'll do one 3 cross 3 matrix. I will just clear it out over here. Now, if once I clear, I can't press shift and 4. It doesn't work because I need to go to mode and 6 for the first time. Type in the matrix A. It's 3 cross 3, so it's option 1. Now I'll just type the values. 1 minus, sorry, it's minus 1, minus 1, minus 3, 3, 6, 4, 2, 1, 8. So once this is done, you need to press AC. Now here what you do is shift 4, put in the matrix A, inverse. This must be the answer. You can see here it's negative 44, negative 5, and you can match the answer. Here this one, the determinant is 0, so it's a singular matrix. That's how we can easily solve them up. Over here it's singular, over here you get the answer. Try it by yourselves and then check for the answers. And that's how easily you can do the inverses of matrices. Question 6 is about multiplication of matrices. Again, we can use the calculator and easily solve it up. Let's use our calculator. We have seen how to use the matrix mode in the inverse of the matrices. Please watch the previous video of question 5 before watching this. Now, even for this, we do the same procedure at the beginning. Press mode and let's fill in this matrix. I'll do the second one first and then I'll come to this. Let's do this A, that is matrix A is by, sorry, first mode, and 6 is the matrix option, matrix A. And it's 2 cross 2, so I'll press 5 and now type in the matrix. 2, 9, minus 7, and 3 here. And now press AC. Never go back to mode again. You need to press shift 4 to use matrix options. Now we have another matrix. Don't press matrix B. This is not the one. You need to press 1 for dimensions and then put in matrix B by option 2. Now here, it's again 2 cross 2 matrix. So let's press 5 and type in the matrix. 6 minus 4, 0, and lastly we have 3. Now both the matrices are saved and all you need to do is multiply. You have to multiply AB and BA if possible, right? So let's press shift 4 and type 3, that is matrix A, multiply by multiplication symbol, and now again matrix B, that is shift 4 and option 4. Press equal to, you get the answers 12, 19, minus 42 and 37. Let's just look at the answers. This is the answer. But multiplying B and A is not the same. For that, you need to again press shift 4 and press B, that is option 4, multiplied by shift 4, option 3, that is matrix A. Make it equal. So this is the answer now, 40, 42, minus 21 and 9. Now here, let us do this one. You can try it by yourselves. I will do it over here. Pause it, try to do it by yourselves. You can check the answers. Now we can see the video. Mode 6 is the matrix. Press option 1 and now type in the matrix A, that is 1 by 2, because there's only one row and two columns, right? It's 1 by 2. There's no option over here. Let's press down. Here we get option 2, 1 by 2. Now type in the values 8 and 1 and then press AC. Now shift 4, press dimension and type the matrix B, that is option 2. This is 2 cross 2, that's option number 5, and now we have 3, -7, -5, and +2. Both the matrices are saved now. All you need to do is shift 4, option 3 for matrix A multiplied by shift 4 and option 4. When you press equal to, you're getting the matrix 19 and -54. Now let's try same thing. Matrix B multiplied by matrix A. What happens? Here you get a dimension error. That means this is not possible to be multiplied. I will tell you how the dimension thing works. Let's look at this one. First, let's write the dimensions over here. This is 2 cross 3 and this is 3 cross 2. If the columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second matrix, then we can easily multiply them. If they are not equal, then we cannot. So if I'm multiplying B and A, what happens is this is 3 cross 2 times 2 cross 3. This also is possible. Over here, both are possible. Whereas if this was not matching in the other problems, it's not possible. You can directly put in the calculator and check it out. Now the actual method to multiply is here. What happens is the first row is multiplied with this first column, and then you write it out from the tail to the tail, in the sense this term over here with this term. Can you see over here? That's happened. -2 times 2 here, and then 0 times -1, and lastly 3 times 9. That is what we do, and then we write it over here, and then the first row with the second column, and that is written over here. And then with the second row first column over here, and this one with the second row over here, second column over here. You can see the tail with the tail, in the sense 5 times 0, -7 times 0, and lastly 1 times 3. Now you just can solve this up. You can put in the calculator and solve it. You get this answer. This is the multiplication. Same way you can do for the B and A. It's the first row with the first column, first row with the second column, first row with the third column, and there we go. And same thing, second row, first column, and it just continues. It's a very simple thing. Whereas the same thing is already done to you in the calculator, and we get this answer. Now one more thing which I forgot to tell. When we write the dimensions, now this is 3 cross 2, 2 cross 3, right? This must match. Yes, we can multiply. The resultant will be the rows of the first matrix and the columns of the second matrix. So it's 3 cross 3 here. That's how we get it. And please do try these by yourselves. You can use the calculator method, or you can do the long method as well. Generally, you're supposed to have only 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 3 matrix, but over here there is 1 4 cross, this is 1 row, 4 columns. Try this by the method we just now saw. You need to multiply it, and then you will get the answer. Over here is the answer. It's very simple, but BA is not possible because it's a dimensional error. And same thing, please do solve these and then check your answers over here. So that's how we solve matrices. Please use the calculator method. Be thorough with it. Don't do any mistakes in that. And most probably you must get only maximum 3 cross 3. But please go through the written method as well. Just keep in mind how it works. If at all you get any other dimension, then you can use the manual method and solve it. In this video, we will use linear programming to solve applications. Here we have systems of equations, and then an objective function is given. We need to solve this up and find the vertices and use the objective function to find maximum and minimum values. Basically, this is done by graphing. Now, what do we graph? We need to understand each equation. See, whenever you have y is less than or equal to 3 and greater than or equal to 1, see the y-axis. Where is 1? Somewhere over here. 3 can be over here. Just draw straight lines. Okay, it must pass through 3. That's wrong, but anyways, this is a line, and over here there is one more line. And now, all the region within that, because y is in between. Otherwise, if you split this out, what is it? Y is less than or equal to 1 is less than or equal to y, and y is less than or equal to 3. This means y is greater than or equal to 1, isn't it? The equivalent. Because the bigger side is opening towards y. So 1 is over here. Everything above, because greater than or equal to means, or greater than symbol means upside. Anything, just point and make it upwards. What about this one? Less than is down. So this is the solution region. But we have two more equations over here. So here it's in the slope intercept form. You can use the calculated table method and find the points if you want. Mode 7, put this equation and you get the points. That is also possible. Or just basic understanding is known, right? Y is equal to mx plus b. The slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 1. So it will start over here and it's a positive slope. So it will go upwards, something like this. That is just a rough figure. Okay, I know there will be some vertex over here. And then what about this point? Here we know it will be x is at y, so it will go to the other side. It will be 2y less than or equal to minus x plus 12, and we divide everything by 2. What do we get? We get y is less than or equal to minus x plus 6. This is the slope intercept form. Now I can tell you, okay, this is having a y-intercept at 6 and it is having a slope, negative slope. That's half over here. So it'll go something like this. So there will be 1 point over here. And what about over here? This is also a point. Now we need to see how these equations work. Look here, y is less than or equal to. So which is this line? At this one. I'll touch a point here. Less than means it's downwards, so it should be all this region. What about this one? Here also it's less than, so I'll touch a point here and it should be down to the line. If it was greater than, it would be above this, above. If it's down, see, you have any line, if it's less than, then it will be down, or less than equal to. If it was greater than, it will be up. That's the only thing. So now I know these are the 4 vertex points. Now how do you find these vertex? If you have the 4 options as the vertex, you can easily figure out this is going to be 0, 1, this might be something like 2 and 3, x might be 2 or 3 over here. That's how we can figure out. But the actual way is simple. What is this equation? This equation is this one, right? The first one. Y is less than or equal to 2x plus 1. Which lines is it touching at? It's touching this line and this line. So we need to find the intercept. You can use the calculator over here, or you can just see over here, what is this particular line? It is y is less than or equal to 3. Solve this up. When you solve it, what's going to happen? Just equate 3 over here and solve for the x value. It will be 3. I will just make this as equal to, you don't put inequality, you can just solve it as equation. Now take this 1 to the other side, it will be 2 equals 2x and it's divided, x is equal to 1. So this point is at 1, 3 because I know the y-axis already. This is 0, 1. What about this one? Now we need to see which is this equation. This equation was x less than or equal to minus x by 2 plus 6. Now substitute the y values. Over here the y value was, this is y is equal to 3 and y is equal to 1. So we will have to do both the substitution. Over here it was on the axis. It was easy. Over here I will first substitute 3 and solve. Minus x by 2 plus 6. You can make this as equal to sign. 6 goes to the other side. I'll solve it over here. 6 when it moves to the other side will be minus 6 plus 3. It's minus 3 equals negative 6 x by 2. Take it to the other side. It will be minus 6 is equal to minus x. Both minus changes. It will be x is equal to 6. So this point is 6, 3. X-axis at 6. What about this point? Substitute over here instead of y as 1. Minus x by 2 plus 6 goes to the other side, be minus 5 equals minus x by 2. Take this to the other side. Minus 10 is equal to minus x. X is equal to 10. So this point is 10, 1. This is how we find the vertices. If you graph it, you will find the vertices, but we are not doing any accurate graph. They have not asked for graph, they have just asked for maximum minimum values, right? So this is how we find the vertices for any graphing. This is a rough one. Let's just look at the vertices over here. You can see over here, that's the vertices we also got. This is 6, 3. Yes, that's the exact, all the points are correct. Now once we get these vertices, we need to substitute back into the objective function. Now that can be done easily in calculator. I'll show you now. What I do is I put the objective function and leave the x and y in terms of in brackets, blank. Now I will choose the first point. What is the x value? It's 0 and over here 1 and equals, this is the 1. At this particular point it's 1. Now just change those quickly to 3 as y and x is 1. And then what do we get over here? We get 6. So this is 1, 6. We need to write them down. Why? Because we need to find where it is maximum and where it is minimum. So both are required. Now then, I will just change it to the other 2 points. Over here, the y is same, only this value changes. It's 21, so this is having a bigger value. And lastly, we have to substitute 10 and 1. This will be 10 and this will be 1. So the answer is 31. So which is having the maximum value? So maximum value is over here, minimum value is over here. Now if you're thinking why I could not use the variable x, I can use variable x, but there is two unknown variables. That is not possible in the calculator. So we manually type the xy values and you can see the maximum 31 is at what? 10, 1, and the minimum we got 1, right? Over here 1 is written 0, 1. This is how we solve these type of problems. Here you need to know the basic graphing and then only solve it. Now there's one more thing. Here you will have 4 options, isn't it? You can try substituting this x and y values in the equation. If you type this 10 instead of x and solve and y as 1, you will get 31. This will match. And the minimum also should match. That is one way to check the answer. But what if they have given you certain other equations which will also be true, with say 81 at different 2 points? Because without graphing, you won't know whether these vertices are correct or wrong. So if you have to find the vertices, you will have to do the graphing. There is no other way. So that is why it's better to understand the graphing first and then do it. But in exam, if you're really not getting it, try checking all the options, put the x value, put the y value, and check whether it's matching. And if others are not matching, then this will be the correct answer. But if they give you another equation which will give you a proper matching one, you can't be sure which is the maximum or minimum. So that's the thing. All these problems are just the same. Here the change is it's in terms of x. X is less than or equal to 4 and x is greater than or equal to 1. Now in this case, you can see over here at 1, there is a straight line, this one, okay? And what you need to do is, x is greater than or equal to 1, means it's a right. And here x is less than or equal to 4 means left. Then all the others in slope-intercept form, this would mean at 4, say this line, less than or equal. So it's down, and what about this? It's greater than or equal, it's up. So this is the solution region. You need to put them up in this objective function, all the vertices, and find the maximum and minimum, and these are the answers. This problem is also similar, but here you can see it's x and y. So let's see, x is greater. Where is x2? Over here, this one, to the right. And what about y greater than or equal to? So this is the y-axis, above. Greater means up or right. If it was less than, it's down. For x less than would be left. Now let's write these in standard form. Here it will be y less than or equal to minus x by 2 plus 3. I've just directly done this. You have to do one step at a time and you will get this answer. What is the intercept here? 3, and the slope is negative, it's going down. And it's less than or equal to, y is less than or equal to, this goes down. What about this equation? I will take y to the other side and bring 7 over here. It will be 2x minus 7 less than or equal to y. Y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 7. So minus 7 is the intercept, y-intercept. Positive slope, it's going upwards. This is the line, it's greater than. So I catch a point and upside. So this overlapping region is the solution set. And these are all the vertices over here. This is how you can put the vertices back to the objective function and get the maximum, minimum. If it is graphing, it's pretty simple, but you have to find the maximum and minimum value. So you need to do the graph and then find it out. See, these are all the vertices. Over here, there are a bit more equations, 3 equations over here, and then 2 lines. You will have this one. So one important thing, because you need to find maximum, minimum, they don't leave it open. It will be always an enclosed shape. So if you don't get it, just double check. If you have written it properly in the standard form or the slope intercept form, double check it and then get this graph. Now, in order to find the vertex point over here, just see which are the two equations, this and this. Write it in terms of standard form, ax plus bx equals c, ax plus bx equals c. In the calculator, you need to press mode, phi for equation and 1 for simultaneous equation. Now, this must be in standard form. Here, since the intercept is 3, 2 divided by, this is the equation for this line. Okay. So, what you do is 1, 2, and 6. Now, what about the next equation? This is having an intercept of 1, so it must be this one because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now write the coefficients of x first. Remember, a is always x. If you write 2, it's wrong. So I need to write minus 1, then comes 2, and lastly we have 2. See, ax plus by equals c. Now the vertex is 2, comma 2. That's how we get it. Whenever we have two equations, just put the two equations in the calculator in standard form and solve it out. And even over here, you can easily solve them up. When it's a straight line, you just substitute. Over here, we know x value is 5, so substitute over here x is 5 and solve it up. This is x is equal to 5, right? If I substitute in this equation, x is 5, it will be 5 plus 3, 8, so y value is 8. And x value is 5, obviously, because we are considering x is 5. This is the intersecting point. So it's not that hard to get this graph. Once you get the graph, you need to put these vertices, all the 4 vertices, back to this equation and find the maximum and minimum. It's just a lengthy procedure, but it's a straightforward problem. Please try all these problems by yourselves and check for the answers. The graph is there and also the answers are there, and you can easily solve them up. That's it. Please do solve all these problems by yourselves. Please do graphing. The more you graph, the more easier it becomes. And if you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. I will try to get back to you very soon. In this video, we will see how to write the parabolas in their standard forms. First, let us write the standard form of a parabola and then understand the equation. Y is equal to a into x minus h, the whole square plus k. This is the standard form. Here, why do we need the standard form is we can easily get the h and k, that is the vertex values. H and k can be easily found out. Now, this actually needs to be done by the completing the square method. But since this is in the MCQ part, I will tell you a shortcut. But you need to know all the 4 options first. So let us just look into the answers of these. Here you have plenty of different options, right? So the first thing is take your calculators. If this is the given question, this equation should be equivalent to this. So if I choose any x value for this particular equation, I must get the same value over here as well for y. Now I will do it over here. Let's type this out as it is in the calculator. It's by 2 alpha x squared minus 24 x, and lastly we have plus 40. Now it's up to you to choose any x value. I'll just choose 1.5 and we got 17 by 2 or 8.5. Now remember that x value. The same must be applied in all the 4 options. So what you need to do is now just press on, and now 2 times x minus 6 the whole square minus 32. And now calculate at the same x value, that is 1.5, and we will get the same answer. All the other options will give you different, because if it's same, then that's the correct answer itself. Now one more thing. Your answer must match this equation. Can you see this? Ax minus h the whole square plus k. You can see x must have no coefficient. The coefficient will be outside the bracket. So 2 into x minus 6 the whole square minus 32. Now from here you can easily tell which is the vertex. Minus 6, and this one you need to change the sign for the h value. That is the x value of the vertex. If it is minus 6, it will be plus 6. But this one as it is, minus 32 is the y value of vertex. The axis of symmetry is whatever the x value of the vertex, that is 6. And it opens upwards. Why? Because this is a quadratic equation which is having positive sign, means it opens upwards. That's how we easily can solve all the questions. But what about this one, the last one? We have no equation over here because the constant term is over there. First, we need to write it in a proper equation. As I can see, the square is towards y. So what I need to understand is this is either opening right side or left side. And how do I rewrite this? I'll just write x is equal to minus 3y square minus 12y plus 18. Now you can easily check. Over here, instead of x, we have y squared. That's fine. Put this as it is in the calculator. Solve for any x, y for this variable value. Write the answer and match it with all your options. Now, in case you have this, you don't have this equation given, only the vertex, and it tells you the axis of symmetry. What do you do then? Then it's fine. You must just remember this formula, minus b by 2a. This is the vertex, x value of vertex, x value of vertex. Now here minus b is minus 24 times minus sign, because already there is minus and this is also minus 24 divided by 2 times 2. The answer over here will be 4, 24 by 4 is 6. Yeah, and this minus and minus becomes plus, so we have 6. Now you can see the axis of symmetry is 6 and the x value of vertex is 6. If you want to find this, just substitute 6 over here and solve it up. It'll be 6 minus 6 is 0. It's minus 32 over here. But this question is about finding standard forms, so they have to give you the standard form in the options. And over here, it's the same thing. It's just that the orientation is different. Now, one thing, if it is y is equal to x square and so on, if it is plus, it opens upwards, minus, it opens downwards. But what if it is x is equal to y square and so on? So if it is plus, it opens to the right. If it's minus, it opens to the left. That's the only thing. And here the axis of symmetry is the y, it's not x value. See over here, the axis of symmetry, what do we consider? The x value of vertex. Here the axis of symmetry must be the y value of vertex, because here it's like this, right? That is the axis of symmetry. Whereas it's vertically oriented, it will be the vertical line. Horizontal orientation, horizontal line. That's how simple and easy this question is. Please do go through them by yourselves and try to solve using calculator. And if you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. In this video, we will see how to graph parabolas. Here we have been given vertex and focus point, and we need to graph the parabola and also write the equation. So there is no calculator or direct method in this. You need to analyze what's given. You need to deduce which orientation the graph is, and then you need to solve it up. First, let's look at this. Vertices h and k. Focus point over here, the x and y values are given 0 and 4. So now I will have a brief understanding that 0 and 1 is over here. This is the vertex, and the focus will be inside the parabola. It's 0, 4, so it's over here. So the parabola is something like this. But what if there is two options which will be something like this? Which one is the correct answer? It's very hard to deduce, right? We need to know the a value. How would we find the a value? It's from the focus. We know the focus y value is given 4. This x value will be same as the vertex, that is h is equal to h. But what about the y value of the focus? That over here, it's 4, will be equal to, this formula will always be the same if it is vertical orientation. Only for vertical orientation, it is k minus 1 by 4a. Just memorize this. For vertical orientation, directrix is also the same thing, same formula. Now over here it's only focus, so I'll just write this out. And what is the k value? K value is, over here we have, this is h and k, right? So 4 equals 1 minus 1 by 4. You can put this entirely in the calculator, you'll get the a value directly, but I'll solve it over here. 1 by 4a will be equal to 1 minus 4, and I will have, I'll just swap this out. 1 by 3 will be equal to 4a, and it will be 1 by 12 is equal to a. So a value is 1 by 12. Now if I go to the options, I can see over here a value is what? 1 by 12, x squared plus 1. This is the equation. Then you can just use this and make the table of values and graph. Otherwise, you can easily see it's 1 by 12, so it'll widen up. That is one more thing. Just take one x value over here. Take this as x value of 2. Put 2 over here and the y value should match. Once you get the equation, it's fine. But to get this a value, you need to do the steps. That's the most important thing. So if the equation, now we will have a square, sorry, a x squared plus y. I'll just write the standard form here. Y is equal to a into x minus h the whole square plus k. Now we found the a value was 1 by 12. What is x minus h? H is 0, so it is x the whole square plus k is 1. So that's how we get this equation. So from equation, just you can make a table and graph it, or just substitute some x values and easily find out the graph. Now over here, the next problem, we don't have the focus point, we have the directrix. What will you do in this case? In this case, it's easier because we know the directrix formula. Y is equal to, y is given. Whenever y is given directrix, the orientation is y is equal to a into x minus h the whole square plus k. This is the thing. If directrix was x, then the standard form would be x is equal to a into y minus k. This would be the formula. The other one we will see in the next problems. Now for this one, let's write the formula. The formula is k minus 1 by 4a. What is this k value? hk from the vertex. They have given that. Now all you do is substitute over here. It'll be 8 minus 1 by 4a. That is equal to what? 3. Y value is given as 3. So let me take this to the other side, and 8 minus 3 equals 1 by 4a positive. And let me, this when you solve it will be 5 is equal to 1 by 4a. Let me take a to the other side. It'll be 4 times 5, that is 20. It is 1 by 20. So the standard form over here is 1 by 20 into, what is x minus 1 the whole square plus k value is 8. That's the answer. So this is how we can easily solve it. You can see the equation over here. That's the correct equation. And all you need to do is graph. Now for the second part here, we have the other orientation, that is horizontal orientation. We have like this. Now here the standard form would be x is equal to a into y minus k the whole square plus h. This is the standard form. You can use the focus formula, directrix formula and solve it. But it'll be a bit lengthy. But since you can see whenever the focus and directrix is given, there is a shortcut method. But you need to know all the 4 options. So now let's look into the options over here. First of all, you have been given the focus. Let's draw a focus point. Where is it? 2, 4 is over here. And the directrix is at 10. So I will not draw an entire line. I'll just draw somewhere over here. This is the 10 line. And same thing over here. X is minus 6. And where is minus 2, 4? It's over here. So that's the line. There is a rule for parabola. If it is a parabola, if you draw a line from the focus, it should be a straight line anyway. Then the vertical line to the directrix must have equal distances. So these two distances are equal. So what I can do is I can draw a straight line from focus here, and this should match this distance. Now 1, 2, that's 4 over here. It must be 4. So this is how we can easily eliminate the other options. But what if there is one more like this somewhat? That's fine. You can easily eliminate that. Just extend it towards this one, vertical distance. How much is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is over here directrix. It must be the same distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is the correct graph. No other graph can match this. Same thing over here. It's 2 and 2. But draw a straight line here. And over here, it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Only one graph will have this matching. So that's why when focus and directrix is given, it's very easy. You can directly do it from the options. If you want, you can use the formulas for focus. You can substitute like what we did previously and get the correct answer. But here the options are given. Do this easy method and you'll get the answer easily. Now here when directrix and the vertex is given, we did it a while ago, the first type of problems. Please do the same and then you can easily find it out. So if you can do one more thing, you can find the focus from this and then check it out. Where is the focus? And then you can easily figure out the graph. So this is how we can easily solve these problems. Please try all of them by yourselves. Try to use the easiest method possible because options will be given and easily get the answers. If you're finding my videos helpful, please do share it among your friends and please do subscribe to my channel. In this video, we will graph circles for real life situations. Here we have about space. A satellite is in circular orbit 25,000 miles above Earth. Write an equation for the orbit of this satellite. If the origin is at center of Earth, use 8,000 miles as the diameter of the Earth. So now here they have told a satellite, imagine this is the satellite rotating, that is 25,000 miles above the Earth. Now if I have Earth over here, the distance would be 25,000 miles. I'll write 25k. But there is one more thing. The diameter of Earth is given. And this is, see, where the satellite is orbiting from the center of the Earth, right? Now, what is from here to here? That is 4,000, 4k. Okay, and then 25k. Now, what is the equation of the circles? It's a most easiest equation. It's x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r square. Now, since it is in the center of the origin of the Earth, it will be 0, 0. So we just write this equation, x square plus y square equals r square. If at all there were coordinates given, the origin is at some specific point, h and k, then we have to use those points. But over here, it's in the origin, so it's just 0 and 0 over here, so we use this equation. But what is the radius now? From here to here, it is 4. Okay, this is also 4. And then we have 25,000. So 4,000 plus 25,000 would be 29,000 squared. We have to square this up. And then we have x squared plus y squared. Just put this in the calculator and you will get the answer. The equation would be for the part A of this question. Part B is to draw a sketch of the Earth and the orbit to scale. Label your sketch. Okay. So you need to just take a scale. Say I'll take 1,000 miles or 5,000 miles as 1 centimeter. Draw 5 centimeter line. Draw a radius, and over here it should be nearly 1 centimeter line. Draw a radius. Just rough figure is enough, you know. Draw two circles. This is 4,000. This is 25,000. And that's it. The total radius over here, that would be 29,000. And let's just see the sample answers. Here, this 8841 million is by squaring 29,000. I'll just show you now. I've just typed in 29,000 squared. That is 841 million. Yes, it's the same answer. And this is the graph over here. In the coordinate, just draw two circles. And you can tell this is the satellite, this is the Earth. And the radius is 29,000. So this is just a brief sketch, you know. Now, another similar problem. Suppose an unobstructed radio station broadcast could travel 120 kilometers. Assume the station is centered at the origin. Write the equation to represent the boundary of the broadcast area with the origin as the center. Now, it's very simple. When it comes to circles, it's just x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Here, what is r squared? 120 squared. So this is all you need to do, because they have clearly told it's at the center, and that's the answer. If the transmission tower, over here it'll be the same. Okay? Now, if the transmission tower is relocated 40 kilometers east, here because they have mentioned the directions, we have to know which is north, south, east, and west. Above is always north, down is south, right is east, and left is west. So they have told 40 kilometers east, so it's going over here 40, and 10 kilometers south over here 10 of the current location. Current was origin, right? Now we have to use this x minus h the whole square. It's x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r squared. And an increased signal will transmit signals an additional 80 kilometers. What is the equation that represents the new broadcast area? Here, all you need to write is x minus what happens with the horizontal direction. It goes to the right. It's plus 40. So you just write 40 here. This is the first equation, plus. Now here it goes down. It's minus 10. This is minus, this is plus. Minus and minus will become plus here, whole square. And just square. Now here they have told 80 additional. It was already 120, so it is 200 square. So let's put this in the calculator. The first one over here is 14,400. You can see that's the answer. For the next one, you have to just do is 200 square, and that is 40,000. And the remaining thing is all right. Very easy one. Circles are generally very easy. Now this one over here is about concentric circles. Are circles with the same center but different radii. Refer to the graph at the right where AB, this is the line, is the diameter of the circle. Write an equation of the circle concentric with the circle at the right with a radius of 4 units greater. Now what you need to understand is, now they have told the center is same, but there is 4 more extra radius. So it's outer, bigger. So first what we will do is we'll find this radius, and then radius is 4 units greater, so we'll add 4 to that. So how we do that is, you can do it in different ways. We can find the distance formula here. I hope you remember the distance formula. It is square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Because you just can't measure it, it's somewhere in the center if you look carefully. Here, can you just consider what is the exact point? Now I will guess it is from here. Then you can do a Pythagoras, but still it's so much complications, right? So this is the easiest method. Now just assume this as x1 y1 x2 y2. You can interchange these, you'll still get the correct answer. I'll do it. 3 minus of minus 5 will be plus 5 the whole square plus y will be 6 minus 2 the whole square, square root of this. Put it in the calculator directly, you'll get the answer. It's 8 square is 64 plus 4 square is 16. It will be 78 is square root 8 is the answer. This is the diameter. Now what is the radius? Square root 80 divided by 2 is the radius, half of it. Because the distance is the diameter, half of it is the radius. Now this is the radius. Can you see what is the center of the circle? You can find the center easily. You can count 2, 4. Y value is 4. And what is the x value? It is somewhere minus 1. So the center is easy to find out, but you can't find the radius by counting like this. It's a slant line. Now we know the radius, we know the center, but that is for the original circle. Now we need to do for the question A, the equation whose radius is more than 4. So now we know this is the radius of this circle, 8 root 80 by 2, just add 4 to it. This is the radius of the part A. Now we know the formula is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So I've squared it up. And what is x squared and y squared? Now you need to remember to, write the centers as well. It's x minus h the whole square. Minus of minus 1 will be plus 1 the whole square plus y minus 4 the whole square. So this is the first equation. You can put this in the calculator, you'll get the answer. Next one, write an equation of the circle concentric with the circle at the right with radius 2 units less. I'll just write it out over here. X plus 1 the whole square plus y minus 4 the whole square equals. Here all you need to do is root 80 by 2 minus 2 the whole square. This is the answer. Graph the circles from part A and B on the same coordinate plane. Over here, if you have a compass, you can just take half of this radius. Not half. You have to just do this in the calculator and then draw that radius and one more radius. So that is how we would do it. Let's use our calculators and check these values. I've typed this out over here and the answer is 36 plus, let's see. Okay, they have written it like this, or you can just press SD. But this is the exact value. You can see for the first one, A. And for the next one, all you need to do is over here, subtract it by 2. So minus 2 would be the thing. It'll be, this is the answer. And this is the graph. This is the rough sketch of graph. This is the original. You can just put the center and graph the two circles. Here we have one more problem. This is the last one in this topic. Earthquakes. A stadium is located about 35 kilometers west and 40 kilometers north of a city. So first thing, north, south, east, and west. Now they have told 35 kilometers west over here, so it'll be minus left side. 40 north, that will be plus. Suppose an earthquake occurs with its epicenter about 55 kilometers from the stadium. Assume that the origin of the coordinate plane is located at the center of the city. Write an equation for the set of points that could be the epicenter of the earthquake. Basically, over here, what they mean is that's the radius, because over here they have given us the details of that particular stadium and it's 55 kilometers away, right? So that would be the radius. So all you need to do is x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r square formula. So x minus, now over here will be plus 35 whole square plus y minus 40 the whole square equals r square as over here 55 square. Just put it in the calculator, you will get the answer. The square of 55 is 3025, so that is the answer. You can see over here. The circle problems are the easiest of all the other conic sections. So please remember the formula and you can easily solve them by yourselves. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. In this video, we will see how to write the equations for hyperbolas from its graphs. Here we have been given graphs of hyperbola. Now, how can we understand which is what? The orientations are different, right? So first you need to understand how it's oriented. This is about y axis. So it will be y squared first by a square. A square is the length from its vertices minus x square by b square. So this is the minor part, the x squared ones equals 1. Whereas over here, the right side, it's along the horizontal axis. It will be x squared by a square minus y squared by b square equals 1. But if you know the formulas, it's not enough. How do we write this? Write the values over here, a square and b square values. Look over here, the vertex is very important. Whatever is the distance between the vertex is 2a. This is 2a. So half of that will give you the a value. Now here, since it's along the origin, we can see it's minus 5, 5. So the distance over here is 5. So all I do is x squared by 5 square minus, what is the b square value? This is along this over here somewhere. It will be something like this over here and over here, that point. But we don't have that distance, right? The minor axis, it's not given. But you know the focus point. Focus point is 7. There is a formula that relates all this. C square equals a square minus, a square plus b square. So I can easily find b square value from these two. So b squared will be equal to c square minus a square. B square equals, what is c square? C value is the focus values, that is over here 7. 7 square minus, we know a square is 5 square. So it will be 49 minus 25, that will be 24. So b square value is 24. So all I do is over here write it as 24 equals 1. So the final answer will be x square by 25 minus y square by 24 equals 1. Similarly, we can solve this over here. We know the a square is 6 square. So it will be 36 here minus x square by, what is the b value over here? It will be something over here. How do we do that is, now this is not at all accurate, but now how do we solve that is, it will be c square equals a square plus b square. So b square value will be c square, that is 64. C value is 8, 64 minus 36. And the answer over here is 28. So you can directly write it as 28 equals 1. So these are the equations of these hyperbolas. So the first one is y squared by 36 minus x squared by 28 equals 1. And over here was the second one. These are the answers. Now look over here, the difference is the minus y squared, over here minus x squared. And the last two problems here, the same formulas. Now looking at this, I can tell this is along the horizontal axis. X squared by a squared minus y squared by b squared equals 1. But we do not have focus points here. But they have given the b value directly. See this over here, this is horizontal, right? That is a value, this is the b value. They have already given us. So it's very easy, in fact, this one. So all I need to do is x squared by, this is a value from here 0 to 8. That will be the a value. Total is 2a. So it'll be 8 squared, that is 64, minus. Now don't take this 8. These are all on the same line, isn't it? This is the b value. Over here it is minus y squared by b value is 5 squared is 25 equals 1. Similarly over here also we can solve it. It's not x squared here. It's y squared by a squared minus x squared by b squared equals 1. Now what is a? That is this from year to year. And the point is 0, 8. It's again 64. And what about this? It is 9. That means 81. So this is the answers. Very simple. Just by looking at the graphs, you can easily understand it. X squared by 64 over here minus y squared by 25 equals 1. And we had 64 minus x squared by 81. Those are the answers. Please try to solve them by yourselves, and if you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. I will try to get back to you very soon. In this video, we will learn how to resolve a vector in its rectangular components. That will be the horizontal and vertical components. Here in these problems, we have just been given 218 centimeter at 310 degree to the horizontal. That's it. What does this mean? This is the magnitude, this is the degrees. So we can draw a rough vector here. Imagine this is the coordinate to the horizontal 310 degrees. So you need to start from here. How you take an angle in a protractor the same way. We start over here, it goes on 180, this is 270, 310, somewhere over here. And then you need to draw 218 line. This is equivalent to 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 will be 17 by 8. That is about 2 point, 2 point less than 1. I'll take it as 2.1. Let's draw a line which is about 2.1 centimeters long. And the angle is 310 degrees. This is the figure. And if we have to resolve this into the horizontal components, it will be this horizontal component and this is the vertical component. And these are given by the magnitude times sine theta. Over here, magnitude times cos theta. You must always remember the y, the vertical component has sine, the horizontal component has cosine. Now we can just use our calculators and find it out. In your calculator, you can type 218 directly as well. So what you need to do is, if you use this symbol, it won't work. Don't put 2 outside and 1 by 8. That is wrong. You need to press shift and this fraction symbol and you can type it 218. So 1 by 8. And that is 17 by 8 as we got. It's just over 2.1. This multiplied by cosine theta. What is the angle? 310. And this is the answer. That is the horizontal component, 1.36. Let's just check the answer. You can just look into the options and see how many digits are there after decimal and round it off accordingly. Here we have 1.37. That is the horizontal axis, x. And what about the y? All you need to do is change this cosine to sine and you will get the answer. That is negative 1.63. But we don't write the negative sign because this is a distance. What does the negative sign indicate? It's going downwards. You can see here, as is almost accurate, but it's not to the scale. Even this is not to the scale. This is x, this is y, isn't it? Here, y is going downwards, x is to the right. So this is always positive. You'll get in the calculator. This would be minus. But we don't write negative sign. Take them as it is. Only the values, magnitude of them. That's how we easily solve it up. You can try this by yourselves. Only important thing over here is this. North 49 degree east. What does that mean? We should know how to draw north, south, east and west. North is always the upper direction. South is down. East is to the right and west is to the left. Now here when they tell you north 49 degree east, N stands for north and E stands for east. So you need to start from the north and draw 49 degrees from here towards the east. So this much would be 90, that's somewhere in the middle. So that's how we draw it. And then we know the magnitude over here is 1.5. Now we can easily find the vertical and the horizontal component. Here when you do it in the calculator, both will be positive itself. Why? Because it's in the right and up, both are plus and plus. That's how we can do this. Please try the other problems by yourselves. Here it is from southwest. So we know just now we saw from south to the left side, that will be the west. You can see here from the south to the west, 78 degrees. All you need to do is put 3.2 cosine 78, you'll get the x, that's this answer, and 3.2 sine 78 will give you this answer. They have also mentioned the units because it's given in the question. It's 3.2 centimeters per hour. So it's centimeters per hour. Here it's centimeters per minute. Sadly, it's wrong here. It should be centimeters per minute, not inches. According to what's unit given in the question, please write it accordingly. You have to just choose the correct answer, so it's much easier in this. Now here we have bearing of 255 degrees. They did not mention north, south, anything. If it's just bearing, if this word is mentioned, you always start from the north. So north over here, let's start 255 degrees. It will be this much 180. If you touch this axis, it will be 270. So somewhere over here, and then draw the line. That is how we do it. Here we have a real life situation. For a goal attempt, a ball is kicked with the velocity shown in the diagram. Draw a diagram that shows the resolution of this force into its rectangular components. Now, rectangular means vertical and the horizontal component. Let's write the magnitude over here given. This is 90 feet per second. And then we have an angle of 30 degrees. Now you need to, this would be this is the horizontal x, the vertical y. That's it. And the formulas are given by, to find the magnitudes, you have to just use y is equal to, v is this 90 over here, the force. Now we always take the magnitude of this. Magnitude in the sense, this will always be positive, but if it is any other sign, you have to just take the magnitude, make it positive itself. Then we have sine theta, it will be 90 sine 30 degrees, and x is v cos theta. This is the formula. Just put the values over here, just like what we did in the previous problems, you will get the answers. These are the answers. And another similar problem here, they have already given the figure, so it's very simple. You have to just draw a vector, what we just now did. Draw this diagram and then find the values. That would be for x, it is 190 cosine 33 degrees, and for y, it is 190 sine 33 degrees. Now here there is another interesting question. Rana and Sally are pulling a wagon full of plants. Each person pulls the wagon with equal force at an angle of 30 degrees with the axis of the wagon. The resultant force is 120 newtons. Now, what is the resultant force? The resultant is this force basically, 120 Newton. Now, what happens is, imagine you're pushing something in this direction, okay? You're pushing this wagon, but the wheels are aligned towards the horizontal. It'll move towards the front, right? So the resultant is always this force. Now you will be putting more force initially, might be you're putting say 100 newtons, but the entire force won't be converted to work done, it will be less. So that is what we need to solve for, how much force they're exerting. See how much force each person is exerting. We know the resultant, what is happening over here is 120 newtons. So each person is putting, each person's resultant would be 60 and 60. You can just divide by 2 because there are 2 people. Now we need to find for each person, not for both. You can find for both, find the answer and then divide by 2. That's fine. But here remember, this is the horizontal. So x is equal to v cos theta. The x is always related to cosine function. Let's substitute what we know. We know this 120 Newton is basically the resultant. That's this x value, 120. And what do we want is the force. See, the force is to be found out. This one over here will be the, instead of f I've written v, but that is right over here f, unknown value. Cosine, the angle is given 30 degrees. Even over here 30 degrees, so we can just use the same. And now, otherwise you can just divide this by 2 and solve it. If you solve it up in the calculator, we will get one answer for f. Let's do it. Here we need to take cosine 30 to the other side. It will be 120 divided by cosine. Sorry, it's cosine 30 degrees. And this is the answer. It's 138.56. This answer is basically the force exerted by Rana and Sally together. But we need for single person, each person, that's divided by 2, that is 69.28. So that's the answer. And what about the next one? If each person exerts a force of 75 newtons, so each person is exerting, this F value is 75 Newton, what is the resultant? Now here 75 into cos 30. But this is just the resultant of one person's force. We need to do this into 2. Why? Because there are two people. F is given to be 75, but there are two Fs. So into 2. Now this is the correct answer. It's 129.9, 130 Newton. And lastly, we have how will the resultant force be affected if Rana and Sally move closer together? Now look here, they are far apart, so much of their force is wasted. It's not converted to resultant. As you reduce this angle, if they're coming closer, the resultant will be more. If you're pulling something straight, you're pulling from here, it's going to affect more. Rather than you pull towards the side, both of them are pulling towards side, the resultant will reduce. So that is one thing. Otherwise, what you can just do over here is, I will change this to a lower degree. So let me make it 20. Now what happened? It started increasing. The resultant is increasing. So this is how you can tell resultant starts increasing. So this is that. It would be greater basically. And we got over here 129.9, it's 130, and over here we got 69 point something, but it's rounded off to a whole number, so it's 69 newtons. That's how we solve these problems. And that's the end of this. Please do solve all these problems by yourselves. Understand the question properly, read through it, and from the given, you can easily solve them up. In this video, we will learn how to find the component form and the magnitude of a vector. Here we have been given the initial and the terminal points of the vectors. We can see A is starting at minus 3, 1 and B ending point is 4 to 5. How do I know this is initial and this is final? Because I've clearly mentioned over here A to B. Now the first one will be the initial. So first thing what you need to do is write x1, y1 to the initial point, and the terminal point write x2, y2. Same way over here, you can follow it. The component form for the vector is very simple. We write A, B and a line over here. This is given as this diamond brackets x2 minus x1 comma y2 minus y1. So you get two digits over here then. Now let's substitute. We have x2 as 4 minus negative 3, and for y2 we have 5 minus y1 is 1. And the answer we can be easily computed. It will be 4 plus 3, that is 7, and 4. This is the component form. Now what about the magnitude? The magnitude of AB is given as this formula over here. It will be x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Here having x1 and x2 is very important. You can't interchange. It's going to be a different answer altogether. Now if you look at this, x2 minus x1 is just found out, right? That's the component form. Magnitude basically, okay, I forgot this line over here. Magnitude is square of both the component forms. If you know the component form, it'll be 7 squared plus 4 squared. Why? Because if you do this, you're going to get 7 over here, the square of it, here as well. So that would be the answer. You should just square it up. It is 49 plus 16 and the answer will be 65, square root of 65. This is the answer for the component form, the left side over here with the diamond brackets, and the magnitude is over here. Now you can put it in the calculator. It's just over 64, so it's over 8. It's 8.1 and over here. Just those two formulas and you can easily solve them up. Because they have asked you the component form, first find the component form and then just use this directly and solve it up. Please do these problems by yourselves. One of the easy topics, only if you know these two formulas. That's it. And there's no other types of problems in this, so please go through them and solve them by yourselves. Over here we have fractions. That doesn't make any difference because all you need to do is x2, 6 minus half, and over here 5 by 2 is basically 2.5. You can write it as 5 by 2 in your calculator easily. Minus of minus 9 would be plus 9. So these are the answers, and then square them up, add them up, and take the square root of them. That will be the magnitude. So this is a simple and easy topic. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. In this video, we will learn how to find the component form of vectors given the magnitude and the direction. Here you can see the magnitude is given and the direction is given. How can we find the component form? It is very simple. The component form is given by a very simple formula. We have used this before. Magnitude multiplied by cos theta, comma magnitude multiplied by sine theta. This is the x, this is the y. That's it. Now all you need to do is substitute 12 cosine of 60 degrees, comma this next one, the y value will be same thing 12, but the direction changes to sine of 60 degrees. I can put this in the calculator and solve it up easily. I've substituted 12 cos 60. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode, not in radian, and just press equal to, you'll get the answer 6 here. And same way, just change to sine, you will get the y value of the component form. So this is the answer, 6 and 6 root 3. Such an easy type of problem. All you need to do the same thing, same formula. Remember, always the x value is related with the cosine, whereas the y value is related with the sine. Put it in the calculator and solve it up. So here are all the worked out solutions. Please go through them. And even over here, it's the same thing. We have 273 degrees, magnitude is 28. 28 cos 273 and 28 sine 273. That is the end of this topic. Please do try and solve more problems by yourselves. In this video, we will learn how to solve three-dimensional vectors algebraically. This is a simple topic here. You have been given the vectors, the component forms of vector A, B and C. You have to do scalar multiplication of vector A by 6. This minus 7 is multiplied with B and so on. So you can directly take a calculator and start multiplying them directly instead of writing it out. So everything is multiplied by 6 here. It will be minus 30 and then we will have minus 24 and lastly there is 18. That is the first component, that's 6a. Then plus, just multiply this minus sign inside. It will be minus 42, minus 14, this minus and minus becomes plus. Even over here, minus and minus becomes plus 49. And then lastly, we have 8 to be multiplied. It is going to be negative 16, 16 and 32. So these are the answers. But this is not the simplified one. Then you need to add all the x terms, y terms and z terms. Here you will have 30, 72, 82, 88. Minus 88 is the first component. Same thing you need to do for the others. Over here we have 20, 30. It will be positive 6. And lastly we have 49 plus 32, that is 81, 91, 99. So that is the answer for the first one. Same way please do it for the others. Just use a calculator and multiply, that's it. Even over here it's simpler because there's only 7 times A minus 5B. Do it up and then you will get the answers. So this is how we do these. And same thing over here, the same values are there. And now over here you can see they have given in terms of I, J and K. But the component form can be directly written over here. X component form is minus 9. The coefficients only 4 and 3. Then y is over here 6, minus 2, minus 7. And lastly z is minus 2, 2 and 4. Use the same method over here then. 7 times this entire, all the terms, plus 6 times the entire terms over here, and add them up, you will get the answers. So this is how we basically solve these. Okay, now since they have given in terms of I, J, K, remember, after you solve it up, write the x term as I, J and K. The coefficients, the answers will be the coefficients of I, J and K. The easiest of all. and that's it, everything is same.